Hello everyone, thanks for checking out my video. So today I'm going to show you how to mine Monero using the new Kryptonite version 7 algorithm. I'm going to do this for nVidia and AMD sort of back to back. And yes, we are going to start with command line, and then after that we'll work into awesome miners. So this is going to be a lengthy video. It's going to show you all the different steps necessary to get things up and running. But just so that you know, and I've been doing this for a while now, down in the description I have a little table of contents with timestamps, you know, so depending on what part of the video you want to watch, that may help you just to navigate, so you don't have to watch the entire thing if you don't want to. Although if you do, that's always cool. So without further ado then, let's get started. Now I want to get a little bit more in depth about how to mine Monero through the command line by creating your own custom batch file. Now don't be intimidated by this, anybody can do it. And if you're new to mining crypto, and I have a feeling that we are going to see a lot of new Monero miners out there, then this may be just for you. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide how to mine it from the command line, bare bones. In fact, this is exactly how I started mining, so it's kind of a trip down memory lane. So let's get started. First of all, everybody who mines Monero needs a Monero wallet. Okay, you just have to have your own wallet. So this is the Monero page. You come here and you click on downloads, and that will take you to all of these links for different operating systems. I'm going to be dealing pretty much exclusively with Windows. So you can click on right here where we have Windows 64-bit, and that will give you this file here, Monero GUI win. This is a zip file, so you can save this anywhere you want. Most of the time it will default in the downloads folder, so we'll go ahead, let's save it there. And once you've saved this file, just click the little up arrow here and go to show in folder, or get to your downloads folder, whatever you need to do. And then when you get to this zip file right here, right click it and go to extract all. And you can use this default folder if you like, or you can put it wherever you want. Just click on browse. If you want to put it on your desktop, for instance, just put it there. Or if you want to create your own wallet folder, whatever you want, just put it in a place that you're comfortable with. All right, and click on extract. Once it's done extracting, it'll automatically put you into the folder wherever you chose. And this is the wallet folder right here. So you can double click this and then just scroll down until you find right here the little Monero icon, and you see the file is called Monero Wallet GUI.exe. Now, what I like to do with these is just right click, copy, and then I'll just minimize everything here. And on my desktop, I right click and paste shortcut. And this creates a link to make it really easy to get to my wallet. You know, and you can go as far as to rename it if you want, just call it Monero. And now we're ready to open the wallet for the first time. So we just double click this. Sometimes a little Windows firewall box will pop up and ask if you want to give this program permission to access the internet. It's okay to click allow on that so that you can connect to the network. From here on, then you just choose the correct language. I'm going to choose English, and you have your choice. Create a new wallet, restore one from keys, or open one from file. I'm just going to click on new wallet here. Now this screen here allows me to name my wallet, and then it gives me my wallet seed, which is a list of words that will allow me access to the wallet if my computer dies, my hard drive dies, or I can't access this wallet anymore. I'll be able to recover my actual wallet by typing in all of these words exactly the way they appear right here. So if you are going to be using this wallet, you want to copy this down in a safe location. You can write it down on physical paper and put it in a safe, that kind of a thing, especially if you're going to be dealing with large volume of Monero, okay? So that being said, one way to do this would be click the copy button right here, and then you can just right click, new, and text document on your desktop here. We'll do monero.txt, and then I'll just paste that right here. And what you can do with this file is then save it to like a USB thumb drive or something like that, and then pop that drive out, throw that drive in a safe. That's one way that you can kind of, keep track of your seeds, or physically write it down. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different options here. You can also choose where you want the wallet file stored. So I'm just going to leave that in the default wallets folder, and then we'll click on the right button here. You're going to want to pick a secure password, something better than password. So do whatever you need to do to make it secure. Okay, that means numbers, uppercase and lowercase letters, and sometimes special characters, whatever works for you. This next window here is about whether or not you want to run your own node or if you want to just connect to a remote node. Now, it's easier to connect to a remote node, but it's a little bit better in terms of privacy if you're running your own. But the downside of that is you have to download the whole blockchain and basically keep the daemon, the program, running in the background all the time. So there's not too much incentive for doing that, honestly. But if you're going to be working with Monero frequently and privacy is really important to you, then this will probably be your best option. If you're not as concerned about it, then connecting to a remote node is really just fine. And now the next question is, what remote node do I connect to? Well, we'll just go over here to Monero World, and we can find a node just by clicking on this little node button up at the top. And we have several different options here. So basically right here is a little description too. So you can see, right, remote nodes volunteered by community members, independent scanning effort from another community member, and will work with all DNS providers. That's very good. That's what I think most of us are going to want. If you get into a situation where we have problems, for instance, this version right here, it says the large side of the A records breaks some DNS servers. So depending on where you are in the world and what type of ISP you have, this may not actually work at all for you. So I would suggest just working with this one right here, open node. It seems more than adequate. So we'll just copy that address, and remember that we're going to use 18089 for the port number. I'm going to paste the address right here using Control V, and then 18089. So now that we've got our IP address and our port, we'll click on this arrow and we're all set up to go. We can click on Use Monero, and just like that, the wallet is synchronized and we're ready to receive Monero. So let's get started with mining. First thing we need to do is set up a new account on miningpoolhub.com if you haven't already. Just sign up and log in. Once you have, then you'll have access to the pools over here where we can click on Monero. The first page that comes up is the news page, and that basically has all of the information that we need to get started with mining. First of all, we've got our mining address and port number. And then we also have some suggestions here for which miners we might use. So you could use these links to download the mining software if you want, or you could just use the links that I put down in the description. And the only reason I'm suggesting the links in the description are because I've kind of fine-tuned these and found them to be quite good. So here are the two suggestions that I have for you. First of all, ccminer-kryptonite, which is a CC miner variant for the new version of Kryptonite. So you can download that by clicking this zip file here for version 3.02 and download that to whichever location you like. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new folder called mining and save my miner zip file right there. Another program that I'd suggest is XMRig. And this one is XMRig-NVIDIA, which is made specifically for NVIDIA graphics cards. Now, they have a beta version up at the top here, but this may have some bugs in it. So you don't really need to download this latest version up here. I would suggest getting version 2.5.2 right now because that's stable. And to download this, you would just click on the corresponding zip file. Now keep in mind you've got CUDA 8 or CUDA 9, so depending on the age of your graphics card, you may want to consider using CUDA 8 for an older card. Mine's pretty new, so I'm just going to go ahead and click this one. And I'm going to save it here. But notice that I'm getting this little virus problem down here where it says that this could be dangerous. So there's really no way to bypass it through Chrome. So what I did was I pulled up Edge browser and I was able to download the file right here and it didn't give me any problems. So now that the file has been downloaded, I can click on Open Folder and you can see I've got both zip files right here. The next thing to do is to extract these. So let's start with the CC Miner. I'll right click it and click on Extract All. And we'll leave this in the default folder. That's fine. Click on Extract. Okay, and here are the files. There's only 4 in here. One that I really want to highlight is the readme.txt file. This generally has very important information, and I always recommend checking these out because it'll show you all of the command line arguments for the program so you know how to set it up. Now, to get this up and running is pretty straightforward. But what we're going to do is create our own batch file to run this file right here. And to do that, it's real simple. Right click anywhere in this white space, go to New, go to Text Document, and then let's type in a name for this batch file. I'm going to call it Monero.bat and get rid of the everything else. All right, so we've given it basically a new file extension, okay? And then hit enter. It'll say, are you sure you want to change the extension? Say yes. All right, and it even changes the icon to something that has a little gear on it. All right, this is a script file or a batch file. A batch file is basically a file that contains a list of commands. So it'll execute whatever commands you put in there, all right? That's as simple as it gets. So what we need to do then is add all of our commands to this batch file. So I'm going to right click this and go to Edit, and that'll pull open Notepad, which gives us a blank slate because there's nothing in there yet. And there are a few things that we need to add. First of all, if you want everything to look nice and neat, then just type this command in, @echo off. That means that it won't basically, reprint every line that you have in here on the screen. It'll kind of keep all that stuff quiet, which is nice. Then it's usually good to set the environment for your graphics card. So I'll put this in the description as well. Just copy and paste it in here. All right, this is basically the same for just about any graphics card. Although if you want to change any of these, you can to suit your needs, but at least you have them, all right? Now we need to configure our miner. So what we're going to do is type in the name of the executable, which is ccminer-cryptonite.exe. And now we need to determine what the algorithm is. So we're going to go back over there to the README file. And if we scroll down to where we have the first argument right here, -a, and then we have to choose between supported algos. Well, we don't want this one because that's the old version. Kryptonite is the old one. We want Monero, which is version 7. Okay, so we're going to put in -a and space, and then Monero space. The next thing we need to pick is our server address. Okay, and we're going to go back to our README file, and we're going to scroll down until we can see where the server address is. Here it is, -o for the server. All right, so we'll go back over here, -o space, and then for our server we're going to type in stratum plus tcp://, and then go over to Mining Pool Hub and grab the whichever server address is closer to you. So I'm in the US, I'll just use this one here, but if you're in Europe or Asia, basically whichever one is closest, okay? Right click that, copy, and we're going to paste that right here. All right, there's our full server address, space, and then we need to put in our username on Mining Pool Hub so that we can identify the worker. And to do that, we'll go back to the README file, You can see right here it's got a -u for username. All right, so we'll do that. -u space, and my username is Goose-Tech. And then I'm going to add a dot and name my card, which is 1080. Space. All right, and make sure you use upper and lowercase as you typed it in on Mining Pull Hub. This is case sensitive, okay? And then you need a password, which is -p space X, and that should do it. So let's hit Control S, or you can go up here to File and click Save. And then if we go back to our folder, we have our Monero bat file. We can now double click this and actually run the mining program. So let's go ahead and do that. And now you can see it's up and running and hashing away. I'm not getting a very high hash rate because I'm recording at the same time. So I'm going to stop this right now. And that's pretty much it for mining Monero with CC Miner. Now let's take a look at mining with XMRig. So I'm going to take this zip file right here, right click it and extract all. Same thing, we'll go with the default folder, extract. And now there are only a few files here, no README files, so we're kind of on our own for this, but not entirely. And I'll show you how you can very easily get the list of commands for this file. From within this folder, make sure nothing is selected, and hold down Shift and right click anywhere in this white space. And by doing that, we have just revealed this option, Open PowerShell window here. And by doing that, we're in the actual folder that we need. So if I were to type in an ls command to list the files, you'll see it's the same files, but this is the command line version. And if we want to get the commands for this particular file, all we have to do is type ./xm and then hit tab. Tab fills in the rest of the file name, and then go space --help and hit enter. And there we have it. All of the arguments that we need to get XMRig NVIDIA up and running. Notice they're all pretty much the same. -A for the algo, -O for the URL, -U for the username, P for password. The only thing that we may add here is this one for donate level to reduce the amount of donation percentage, because right now it's at 5%. You can actually lower that to 1%, which is the minimum. And I think that 5% is a little high anyway. So that's the only thing we'll need to add. So since everything is pretty much the same, we could essentially copy and paste the batch file that we made for CC Miner over here. So let's go do that. Here's my CC Miner batch file. So I'll just right click that and copy. And then in my XMRig folder, I'll just right click here, paste it, and there we have it. So now let's edit this to make sure everything is right. We'll right click and go to edit. And now we have to change this file, right? We have to name it xmrig-nvidia. And we also are going to want to remove this algorithm because the default algorithm is actually Kryptonite version 7. So we're just going to erase that altogether. And then at the very end here, we'll put a space, --donate-level equals 1. And then click on File, Save, and let's go ahead and run that. And notice that we're using the Kryptonite algorithm, donating at 1%. If you want to see your hash rate, just push H, and then your hash rate will display. If you want to see the health of the graphics card, just push E, and that will show you the different clock rates as well as the temperature and the power. Once again, my hash rate is really low because I'm recording right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this. Now that we've done NVIDIA, let's take a look at AMD. For an AMD setup, there are also two different programs that you could use, and I would suggest doing the same thing as for the NVIDIA cards. Try them both, see which one gives you the best hash rate, and run with that. So to start with, we have Claymore's crypto node, which is version 11.3. Again, link down in the description, but basically you'll want to download this file here, which is for AMD. And I'm going with the one that says .pool here, not .linux, because obviously we're working with Windows. Okay, so click on this and save that where you want. I'm going to save as. The other mining program I'll recommend is XMRig, and notice up here they have an AMD variant now, which is made for OpenCL, and of course the versions are exactly the same as the NVIDIA. This one, version 2.6.0, is in beta, so I'm not going to recommend that just now, only because it may have bugs in it. But this one right here, version 2.5.2, is stable and will work with the new Monero. So I'm going to suggest downloading this one right here for your 64-bit operating system. And I'm going to save as and put this in the same folder as the other one. Okay, so sometimes this will happen. You'll get a little false positive from your antivirus software. Now you have to keep in mind that Monero has been mined in secret for a long time now. There's so many different ads and things out there that have been embedded with secret mining programs that many antivirus programs basically block them instantly. So to get around this, we just basically have to add that folder to our antivirus's exclusion list. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that for Windows Defender. You just double click your Defender icon over here, go to Virus and Threat Protection, Virus and Threat Protection Settings, go down to Exclusions, click on Add or Remove Exclusions, and then up at the top here, click this plus sign, go to Folder, and then navigate to the folder that you want to use for mining. So I'm going to use this one right here, click on Select Folder, and click on Yes. And now that mining folder has been added. I can close this down, and then close this and retry downloading my file. Click on Save As and save it into this folder. And as you can see, it goes right through because it's being excluded from the virus check. All right, so now we can go ahead and click on Open Folder. I'll minimize this. And the first mining program we're going to work with is Claymore. So I'm going to right click this and go to Extract All. And we'll just use the default folder here. Hit extract. And here are all the files for the Claymore miner. We can scroll down and find the executable right here. And what do you know? There's a README file right underneath. So let's go ahead and double click that README file. Yep, and right off the bat, you can see we've got our environment variables right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click these and copy them because we'll need to add that to our batch file. And then I'll scroll down. And you can see right here we've got command line options, so everything that we need to configure. So let's go ahead and start making our batch file then. So I'm going to go back to the folder here, right click, and then go to New and Text Document. We'll name it monero.bat and get rid of the txt. Hit Enter. Yes. And then we're going to right click our monero.bat file and go to Edit. And right here, we're going to type in @echo_off so that it looks pretty. And then go ahead and paste in the environment variables, but make sure that you add the words set in front of those variables. Okay. And then down here, we're going to need the name of our executable, which is ns_gpus_cnminer.exe. Space. We're going to need the name of the algorithm, which in our case is right here, -POW7 for the Monero hard fork. It says to use it like this, -POW7 space 1. So I'll just go ahead and copy that and paste that right there. Space, and then we're going to add our URL for the server. So we're going to use this command right here, which is -xpool. All right, so let's go ahead and type that in, xpool space stratum plus TCP : // and now we need our miningpoolhub.com server address. So I'll just come over here to the Monero page. This is the news page, and you scroll down just a little bit and you have your server address right here for US, Europe, and Asia. So select the whole address, including the port number, right click copy, and then we'll paste that in. Next is our username. So we're going to use the argument -xwal space, and then type in your username at Mining Pool Hub, which is, for me, Goose-Tech. Keep in mind it's case sensitive. And then if you want to name your miner, you put a dot and then just name it whatever you want to call it. So in my case, it's 460 for my RX 460. And lastly, we'll want to add a password, which is -xpsw space x. You can't get away with not including a password. You have to have a password here, otherwise Claymore gets a little finicky. And that should pretty much do it. There's only one other command that you may consider, and I would say this is more or less for miners which are unstable, and that's the restart miner command, where you could put in -r space and a number where that number represents minutes. So if I put -r space 45, then basically every 45 minutes the miner will just shut down and reload itself. That can help prevent problems for miners that just don't seem to run overnight and stuff like that. So it's a good way to kind of just refresh things. I'll leave that up to you if you want to add it or not. But for right now, this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and click on File, Save. And we're going to go over here and run monero.bat for the first time. Sometimes you'll see this pop up. You'll want to allow access to the internet so that the program can definitely connect. So go ahead and click on Allow Access. Everything looks good here. You can see that we are using Monero Proof of Work 7 algorithm. We've got several reports here of our hash rate, and that's actually a pretty decent hash rate for my RX 460. So let's see if we can get this or better using XMRig. All right, here's the XMRig AMD zip file. So I'm just going to right click that and extract all. Click on extract. And here we go, plain and simple once again. But what I'd like to do here is just copy my other Monero batch file into this folder so that I can make it a little easier on myself. So I want to go back to that folder right now, which is right here, and right click on Monero bat, copy, and then open up XMRig here and right click paste. So now that file's here, but we're gonna have to change it around a little bit. So I'll just right click edit, and we're gonna change the name of the executable, xmrig-amd. We're gonna get rid of this -POW7. We don't need that. For this, we're gonna make that a -O. And this can stay exactly the same. For the wallet part here, we're going to make that a -U. And for the password, we're going to make that a -P. And then at the very end, we're going to use this command, --donate-level equals 1. And that will reduce our donation amount to 1% for the developer fee. And that should pretty much do it. I'm going to go ahead and click on File, Save. And let's go over here and run Monero for XMRig. All right, not too bad. Because it was the first time running it, it had to compile some code, so that like took an extra minute or so. Then eventually it started reporting a hash rate. If yours isn't reporting a hash rate, just type H and then it should automatically start showing the hash rate. But this hash rate's actually a little bit lower than the Claymore version, so I don't know. For me, I may stick with Claymore on this, but do keep in mind that XMRig needs to adjust the difficulty. It started all the way up here at 500,000, but now it's almost all the way down to 120,000. So that keeps on coming down, and it's basically finding a nice equilibrium for your hashing power. So stick with it, see what happens, and make a decision based on whichever results are best for your setup. All right, so we got our wallet set up and our mining process set up. How do we get paid? All right, all you got to do is come over to Mining Pool Hub on the Monero pool page and go to the wallet link. And this is where you'll enter your Monero wallet address. So let's go ahead and pull up our Monero wallet. We're going to go here where it says receive, and this is our receiving address. So you just click this little clipboard right there. That will copy the address to the clipboard, and we're going to go ahead and paste that right here. The full thing. And then you'll need to take a look here at your automatic payout threshold, because they do charge you 0.012 XMR as a transaction fee. So you'll have to decide whichever amount is comfortable for you. For me, I'm thinking I'm going to use like 0.2. That makes a lot of sense, because then I won't be paying too much of a percentage in transaction fees to move the funds around. Once you've chosen something you're happy with, go ahead and enter in your 4-digit PIN and click on Update Account. Now, whenever this payout threshold is reached, it will automatically send the Monero to our desktop wallet. However, if you're using the auto exchange feature, you'll need to make a couple of adjustments before this will actually send to your wallet. Let me show you what I mean. Over here on the auto exchange, mine is currently set to exchange everything for Litecoin, which means that any of this Monero that I mine is automatically going to be sent to the exchange. That means that I'm not actually going to get the Monero. So if I want to keep Monero exclusive and not exchange it for anything else, then I just have to flip this switch to the off position. All right, and then go down to the bottom here and click on Update Settings. And by doing that, any Monero that I mine will just stay in the Monero wallet until it reaches our payout threshold and then be sent to our external wallet. If you want to exchange everything else to Monero, well then you can just very simply go ahead and set your coin here to Monero. And then everything that you receive will be exchanged for Monero. And again, once it reaches the threshold, it'll send it to your external wallet. If you are an Awesome Miner user and you already have some pools set up to mine Monero, but you haven't been able to do it properly because of the fork, then there's a couple of things that you'll need to adjust. And the first thing is really obvious, and so I'm not trying to like troll you guys, but you have to update Awesome Miner, okay? That's going to clear up a lot of issues, and let me show you what I mean. On the menu tab here, when you see this little red circle with the 1 in it, that means that usually there's an update to the software. You just click on this tab and you come down here and you'll see the little 1 on check for updates. So if we click this, then it'll give you a rundown of everything that's being updated. And these guys are really on top of things. I mean, they have packed this thing full of updates. First of all, we have Kryptonite version 7 support. That's great. They've also included X16R, X16S, Kryptonite Lite, and Kryptonite Heavy. They've included SG Miner for you AMD users. They've included a Raven Miner for the nVidia users. We also have Kryptonite Miner version 11.3, which has Kryptonite version 7 support. So we're in really good shape right here with this update, and it's just like, I'm telling you, it's like packed to the gills. So it's totally worth doing if you haven't done it already. Real simple, just click on yes right here and it'll download the update and install it right over top of what you got. It's not going to erase your pools or anything. It just builds it right on top of whatever's already there, so you don't have to worry about losing your settings or anything like that. But we do need to make a few adjustments with regard to Monero, because now it's using Kryptonite version 7. So let me show you what I mean by that. Now that the software is updated, we just have to change one little thing with our Monero pool. So we'll go over here to Options, click on Pools, and then find our Monero pool, highlight that, go to Edit, and then just very simply change the coin to where it says Kryptonite V7 Monero. Click on OK. OK. And as long as you have your miner set up to mine Monero specifically, then it should pull up the right software and start mining it automatically. So we'll just go ahead and click on Start here. And as you can see, for this computer, it's pulled up XMRig-AMD. That's because this is an RX 460. So it already knows what type of graphics card I have in here, and it's pulled up the appropriate mining software to do the job. And of course, right here, I've got my hash rate being reported, 328 hashes per second, which really isn't that bad for an RX 460. And of course, profit per day, right around 41 cents. Now, everything's working. So this is the easiest solution that we have for mining Monero. It would be the exact same thing if you had an nVidia card. However, one little thing that you may want to adjust. Let me show you that. Here's my nVidia machine, and if you've done all the same steps that I just showed you, you updated Awesome Miner and you changed your pool coin from Monero on Kryptonite over to Monero on Kryptonite version 7, then typically what will happen when you try to mine is you get this error message, which basically says there's no supported pools available. Unfortunately, that's somewhat misleading. The reality is that there's no software defined to actually mine that algorithm. So it's pretty simple to set this, just one little change in our software. So let me show you how to do that. You just go to Options, click on Profit Profiles, click on nVidia GPU, and then Edit. And then scroll down a little bit until you hit right here. See, this one's got XMRig nVidia Miner. Just put a little check mark there and click on OK. Then click OK again, and we should be good to mine Monero. Just click on Start. And now you can see it's pulled up XMRig-NVIDIA. So this is the easiest way to get back into mining your Monero. Basically, update Awesome Miner, which does everything behind the scenes for you automatically. Secondly, make sure that you change the pool coin from the Kryptonite version over to the new Kryptonite V7 version of Monero. And lastly, if you're using nVidia, then just make sure you enable XMRig nVidia Miner in the profit profile. Then you really should be good to go without having to change anything else. So there you have it, how to mine Monero with the new algorithm using Awesome Miner, AMD, nVidia, command line, custom batch files, the whole nine. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If so, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to check us out in upcoming videos. Another teaser for you. I'm working on it, guys. I'm going to get it out to you very soon. So be sure to subscribe and ding the bell so that you get updates when I post that video. Once again, guys, thanks so much for watching and God bless.